Spider-Man for PS4 was one of my favorite games of 2018 and one of my favorite PS4 exclusives. Now, I cannot wait for the sequel, whenever that is. But to hold us over, it's good that we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, which, as the title implies, take control of Miles Morales. But is this game good? Well, let's find out. Hi guys, DPX here reviewing today Spider-Man Miles Morales. Anyways, before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, turn notifications, and leave a comment. You'll be a loyal subscriber. The core gameplay of Spider-Man Miles Morales is very similar to Spider-Man on PS4. That's not to say it's bad, in fact not at all, as this just feels great and reminds me of Spider-Man PS4. It's almost like a nostalgia trip, even though the game's 2 years old. So, yeah, but still, I really enjoyed that game, and I gotta say I really enjoyed this one. The combat and web slinging feel great, especially just as great as they did in Spider-Man PS4. Miles Morales does have a few new abilities that Peter Parker doesn't have, though. Those abilities include of camouflage, or in other words, invisibility, which, when it comes to combat and techniques, can come in hand very well. And Venom Electricity, which is very cool and is like the strong move you have to build up. It does stick a little too close to the Spider-Man formula, but it's excused because that formula was awesome. Yeah, other than that, the game plays and feels just like how Spider-Man PS4 did with a few added mechanics. But I can't stress this enough. I probably will. That's not a bad thing. Definitely would have preferred it to move a little bit from it, but it was still a fun game to play.
I've been taking on a lot more responsibilities than I can handle lately. Made me push my friends away. But I'm here to fix that.
Normally, I do story and characters in two different segments, but for this review, I'll put the two together. The story of Spider-Man Miles Morales takes place a little more than a year after the events of Spider-Man PS4, and in that time, Peter Parker has been training Miles to be Spider-Man. You can tell Miles is still a bit less confident about his role as Spider-Man, and that becomes more obvious when Peter leaves for vacation, leaving Miles as the only Spider-Man in the city to do all the work. From the way Miles web-slinging, as he seems a bit less confident there, to his own self-doubt, you see Miles Morales struggling to fit the role as Spider-Man. However, without spoiling anything, he does progress as Spider-Man and becomes more and more confident, even if it means he has to make some sacrifices. Throughout the whole story, you do feel for Miles as he is less experienced than Peter was in the first game. There is sort of a problem I have, and you might have expected it, and that's the length. Spider-Man Miles Morales is very short and shouldn't take you more than about like 8 to 10 hours to beat. Many people didn't like the length, but we were advertised a much shorter experience, and we did get that. However, I do understand, as it felt like it finished a little too early. The story is still great though, and I'm excited to see what comes next. And yeah, my only problem with the story is the length, not anything that goes on in the story. Now, we are getting here a bit earlier than usual, but that's really because I made story and characters into one segment. Anyways, this segment is for smaller things that are worth mentioning, but I don't really see them needing their own segments. Of course, this game looks gorgeous. It looks just like a next-gen game, and for people watching who didn't hear me say this already, did you know I played this game on PS4 and not PS5? Had you never heard me say that I'm going to wait for a PS5 because, you know, they're not really available right now, you might have thought I was playing this on PS5. So I'll go as far as to say that this might be the best looking game on PS4. Not to mention the soundtrack, as it's pretty solid too, and includes a variety of things, whether it be something sounding similar to the main theme of Spider-Man PS4 or some rap. I should also say that while I can't say this definitively, Spider-Man Miles Morales is probably best played on a PS5. However, unless you are one of the 7 people in existence that managed to slip a pre-order in for a PS5 for the 2 seconds they were up, you probably don't have one. But if you still want to play this game, but you don't want to wait to play it when you get a PS5, you'll have a good experience on the PS4. I argued with myself because I wanted to play this game, but I thought it wouldn't feel right playing this game on the PS4 and not on the PS5. But I had a good experience on the PS4. Just be aware that I think this game was designed more for the PS5 in mind, because the cutscenes stutter and lag a lot. It didn't happen too often to where it was a deal breaker, but it was hard to ignore when it did happen. If you play on the PS5 though, I doubt these issues will be present. And if you are one of the few people in the world that got a PS5 and have played this game, let me know if those issues are present. And hey, if you try this one on PS4 and it turns out the stuttering bothers you that much, you already have the game for PS5 if you got it on PS4. So whenever you get a PS5, hey, you can play it on there.
Looks like the plaza was just a warm-up.
Or distraction.
Whoa!
Let's not shoot each other, alright?
In conclusion, Spider-Man Miles Morales was advertised as a little holdover for a future Spider-Man 2, but it managed to actually be kind of better than that. It's not trying to surpass Spider-Man PS4, and it doesn't, but it's one hell of a fun time, and if you dug Spider-Man PS4, you will absolutely dig Spider-Man Miles Morales. It is over a bit too soon, and it does stick to the formula a bit too closely, but it's still a fine game nonetheless. So, that being said, I give Spider-Man Miles Morales a 9 out of 10. It is a great launch title for the PS5 and a great game for the PS4. So that was my review for Spider-Man Miles Morales. There really weren't many times when playing this game where I was unhappy. So, yeah, I had a great time with this game. If you're wondering why this review is going up pretty late, because it is going up pretty late. This game came out almost a week ago, and anyone who got it then has probably moved on from it by now. Well, again, I argued with myself, should I get this game now or should I wait to play it on PS5? And I got it on PS4, and then my PS4 had a malfunction which wiped the save data from this game, thus making me start all over again. But I was still able to beat it, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks for watching this video. Do you agree with me? Have you played Spider-Man Miles Morales? And for fun, let me know. Have you played on PS4 or PS5? And do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you like the game? Do you not like the game? Do you have the game? Do you not have the game? If you don't have the game, do you want it? Do you not want it? Anything about the game, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.